Charles Soule and Jan Basil Dua continue their tension-filled rebel-centric arc as Lando is put at odds with the people he thought were his friends, while Starlight Squadron go on the offensive against Commander Zahra and the Tarkin's Fist. Charles Soule again continues to tell an exciting, action-packed story that focuses on some of the heroes of the rebellion other than Luke, Han, and Leia, giving the spotlight over to Starlight Squadron and their cool new mission, which shifts halfway through into a sabotage mission. I like how Charles lets us have cool space action as well as a more character-focused action with Lando's story, which is quite brilliant thanks to Charles having a great understanding of his character and motivations. So we get to see him play both sides with the rebels and Jabba, which will definitely not end well for Lando. On top of Lando also being kind of this scheming sort of guy that we kind of know from the films, he's always got deals going on, is backstabbing people. We also get to see a softer side of him with Lobot, and thanks to Charles also writing his amazing Lando solo series, we get to build on the character development from that between those two characters and the relationship they had. Jan Basil Dua gives us some great looking action set pieces and interesting set pieces, different from the usual space battle stuff. I liked the idea of setting a dogfight battle between the rebels and the Imperials inside an Imperial hangar, as it helps shows just how skilled these Starlight Squadron pilots are to be able to move around in such tight spaces, and it's just a little different to what we're used to seeing in Star Wars. Star Wars Issue 11 was a great continuation of the Operation Starlight story that was a perfect balance of space battles and explosions with more personal battles between characters like Lando and Kes Dameron, offering something for everyone to enjoy. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Star Wars Issue 11 finds Kes training his blaster on Lando, telling him they can't shut off the talkies since it's the only way they can get to Starlight Squadron, since clearly something is going wrong with them and they are cutting their only line of communications. Lando understands the man's plight, but knows that keeping the droid active is killing Lobot. Leia asks if 3PO can do this, and the droid says that he is certain as he can be. Lando asks for Leia's help, but she tells 3PO to continue the transmissions. 3PO gets the droid to translate a new set of codes for the squadron, but the talkie says they might need to get another hybrid ready since Lobot's circuits are about to blow. Leia apologizes to Lando, and while she hates to do this, this is all bigger than Lobot and Lando. Starlight Squadron meanwhile evade the Star Destroyer's TIE fighters and turbo laser batteries. Zahra tells the squad to keep flying and evading the enemy so Freya, Lulo and her can link their computers to Mars. The pilot doesn't know if they'll stand a chance out there since they cannot coordinate a link during all this fighting. Zahra tells him to stow the chatter as Lulo notices the TIE's tactics are strange, having studied their tactical manual, and while the TIEs outnumber them, they aren't just ganging up on them and taking the squad down, they are making sure they can't escape, corralling them into a small area. He knows that they are being herded towards the Tarkin's will, as Commander Zahra is told the TIEs have boxed the fighters in. She tells her men not to fire, noting how the ships bear unique insignias, meaning that they are on some sort of special mission. Because of this, she wants the fighters brought on board, ordering the tractor beams to be activated. The beams grab the rebel fighters, pulling them helplessly up towards the ship as Zahra tries to blast her way out of the hold with her engines. Evan knows that that won't work as Wedge tells them that back in Rogue Squadron, they wargamed and he came up with an idea that could work. The squad listens, so Wedge tells them all to accelerate towards the ship. Lando meanwhile continues to try and convince the others that they need to turn off the talkies since no one is answering their comms. Leia tells 3PO to keep going, so Lando has had enough, pretending Zahra has returned to the ship. Kes's guard is dropped as Lando hits him in the face, grabbing the droid and planning on disconnecting it, but Kes recovers, saying Lando's trick was a dirty one, realizing that all the things he's heard about the man are true. Lando knows that he can take a punch well, as Kes says that he's a pathfinder, and it's what they do. Kes wants to kill Lando for disrupting rebel comms, but Leia says that he's just worried about his friend, wanting him to be taken away until they can sort all this out. Lando says that doing this they are murdering Lobot, but Leia says that they will get him medical attention as soon as they are done. She tells 3PO to continue, but the droid says he's already done, as he reveals that he has encoded the Trawak language and in the future will be able to encode all transmissions without the talkie. The ancient droid finds that impossible since the language is too complex for droids to reconstruct from samples. 3PO says that he's more advanced and whomever made him was enlightened enough to give him a customized comm module. The droid says that the Talkie's self-interest at the expense of others isn't a credit to his model like he thinks it is. The Talkie is taken offline as Leia goes to check on Lobot, finding him alive but barely, wanting to get him to medical stat and for the Talkie to be put into storage in case they need it later. She tells 3PO to tell Kes to let Lando go as she tells him to keep trying to get through to Starlight. The squad meanwhile fly directly into the destroyer's hangar, with the desperate Imperials trying to stop the fighters, but it's too late as the squad blow their way into the base, firing on the stationary tires and stormtroopers. With the hangar locked down, they set to land and begin an uplink as Commander Zahra says that this is unacceptable, demanding that they need to take back the hangar now. The rebels disembark from their fighters, firing on the troopers arriving as Shara spots some astromech droids nearby. The team fight towards them, intending on slicing into them as Lulo takes to the air to down an ATST that had been activated, knowing the Imperials realized they needed some real firepower. The team make it to the astromechs, slicing into them as Lulo is hit by the walker. The droid's transmitter is activated and Shara tells the others to head off while Lulo loops back around, taking down the walker, but soon learns that while focusing on this one, he failed to notice the others that were activated in its stead. Wedge radios Shara to tell them that they are almost finished with the nav calculations as the woman races back to her A-wing, having sliced another droid to gain some valuable intelligence on the Empire's fleet movements. Suddenly her ship explodes and the team want to fight off the Imperials, but she tells them to get out of there and back to the fleet, demanding Lulo leave her behind and to tell Kes that she loves him. Lulo acknowledges the order, blasting off from the hangar with the squadron. Back at the fleet, Lobot is given the help he needs as Lando comes to visit him, saying that he thinks that they learned a valuable lesson, that the rebellion's not going to be looking out for them like they thought. On Tatooine on Jabba's sail barge, Bib Fortuna gets a call from Lando, telling him that he cannot get the rebel code he wants, since they have it all locked down now. Bib thinks that means that Lando failed Jabba and death will be his penalty, but Lando says that he's got something a little better as he and Lobot secure the Talkie. The rest of the Rebel command meanwhile learn that Starlight hasn't contacted back, all of them knowing now that the squad is down. Suddenly an incoming transmission is picked up and it's Starlight Squadron. Lulo contacts the fleet telling them that they were on their way home, but the mission was a bust since the 6th Division was utterly destroyed, ambushed by the Tarkin's will just like they were, and while they barely escaped, it's not without casualties as Shara sacrificed herself to save the elders. Lulo knows that thanks to her sacrifice, they were able to secure an astromech filled with Imperial navigational data and intelligence. Kes can't believe his wife is gone as Leia knows that this is a setback, but it's not the end, and Kes can't give up hope. And now, thanks to Shara's sacrifice, they have a working code that the Empire cannot track, and with the navigational data of the Tarkin's will, they can now go on the offensive and hunt down the Empire.